With Calum McIntyre, or Calum, a good battling point.
Yeah, look, on the face of it, really good point, tough place to come, a place where traditionally we've struggled over the years, and traditionally, if you look at the statistics, we've struggled away fixtures on Tuesday nights. And one thing I've been determined to do, and this team are determined to do, is change some of the perceptions and what typical Chester is. So we put the type of performance on that would be needed to come and win at a very difficult place, coming off the back of scoring 3 with no reply on Saturday, 9 this time last week. We knew what we'd have to be. So like I say, very good point, but there's then a frustration, and something I've got to change is we've been in front twice. We're in front, I don't know what minute the goal is, it's still very, very raw, and I haven't looked at anything but the dying minutes going into added time, the goal, we concede again, and that's become a theme. What I've got to look at is, and that isn't just a theme this season, that's before my time as well, and we've got to work very hard to change that. There must be a reason, and what I've got to look at is it personnel, is it when the same players are on the pitch? But collectively that's got to change, and that's got to stop. We can't be in a position where we're winning games going into the dying moments, because I'd be very, very interested to see the statistics of points that we've lost in the dying embers again. It's not fitness, I can tell you that, because I see that data. So it's a mentality and a culture that I've got to try and change.
I thought the first half performance was excellent, and maybe you should have gone in front in at half time, a few more goals up.
If it was a boxing match, after 20 minutes, the referee would have stopped it and felt sorry for them, because they were getting absolutely pummeled. It was a pummeling for the first 20 minutes. The ball was in and around their 18-yard box. We've had 3 attempts on goal unopposed in the 18-yard box and haven't worked the goalkeeper. So again, I look at things that I've got to change. We've got to have a mentality where when we've got a team against the ropes and we're pummeling them, that we actually have something to show for it. For us to only be 1-0 up after that 25-minute showing is an absolute travesty, because if it was 3-0, it would have flattered them, because then it'd been near our goal, we'd had the ball, we'd had good areas, we'd had quality. And that's the bit that I probably said to you on Saturday. It was the same scenario of that last little bit. I haven't seen their goalkeeper make save after save after save in the first half for all that. Like you say, good performance. And then, like you say, we've got to find a way to string 2 back-to-back 45s, because you are always going to be on the back foot here. No one will come here and dominate, and certainly not how we did in the first half for 90 minutes. But ultimately, you've got to maybe be a little bit more resilient and dig in for a little bit longer. I thought the naivety for our first goal is disappointing, in that really the play builds up from our set piece. But again, talk about character, and this group have got an abundance of it. You go back in front, but you've then got to see the job through. So loads and loads to be positive from, and on the face of it, of a fixture that I don't think many would have tipped us here to be getting anything tonight, to have something to show for that. Just a little bit disappointed that it certainly could have been more at the beginning of the game, but then again at the end.
It's fine margins though, isn't it? Obviously Kurt has that chance to go 3-1 up, and from that they break up the other end and get their equaliser.
I think that was a theme with both goals. If you remember, the first goal is a corner. We don't really make the right decision on the initial second phase. We defend in, we get penned in, we get moved around, and the ball comes down the side of our centre half, between centre half and full back. And then the second one, honestly, you start to wonder when your luck's out. If it's not injuries, it's when we kick the ball against one another in the 18-yard box, it drops to their man, and we rely on our goalkeeper. At the other end, we have an attempt on goal, it cannons off the back of our player, and like you say, start to counter-attack when the ball comes in, and it's a sickener. What I do believe is that if you keep doing the right things for long enough, it'll turn. And what I've seen over the opening 10 games is the foundations of a very, very good team. An attitude, a desire, a belief, all the things that I was determined to try and instill into a team. But like you say, it's those fine margins, and we will get there, I'm telling you now. You look at the games we've had to play, there can be no team that has had the players that we've missing and had the run of fixtures we've had. And look at us, what are we now, 6 unbeaten, 10 games in. Thought we're going to be judged after 10 games, no problem. We'll see where the next 10 games go when we get players back fit and back out on the football pitch. And I repeat what I said, might not say, wow, I'm excited, but I repeat what I said to you on Saturday. When we get those players back out on the pitch and there's a bit more consistency of selection, and we start to get that run going, if the foundation point of we're only going to get better from is 6 unbeaten, a point away at Chorley, well, we'll be okay.
Now attention's turned to the FA Cup.
Yeah, massive test. They will have played tonight. Haven't seen anything on that. We'll start planning. We wanted to make sure that the Saturday, Tuesday league fixtures, we got something out. To be honest, wanted 4 points. We've set the players a points target for every 6 games that we are well on course for. All right, we're in a really good position. We're in control of that situation, which wasn't the case when we come to the end of the first block. But the FA Cup's important. It's important to the football club. I learnt that at half time in the Pontefract game, how raw and how important it is. It'll be a really tough test. They aren't your run-of-the-mill Division 8 side, regardless of what the league position might say. They're well backed, well resourced, and they will come and they'll believe that they can come and beat us on our patch. I think with the FA Cup, it's all about the supporters, it's all about the club, and everyone that the club's important to, we want them to know how important the FA Cup is. So we will go out there on Saturday, be determined to put us into the next round and one win from the first round proper. I know what it means, I know what that does, but if anyone's looking at it as a tie that we can just turn up in, I'll repeat every single thing I said to you before the Pontefract game, and then I'll double it. All right, that's where it's going to be at. So a tough test. We're going to have what we've got available. We're down to the bare bones again. Don't expect to see Cole Hall for a month. It's going to be tough. But if I've learned one thing about resilience, we've had to develop it as a group, because nothing has possibly gone right from day one. And I'm starting to think we wouldn't have it any other way, because what that builds in us as a club, we'll really see who wants to get on the bus and wants to do it with us.
Well done tonight.